Hello, welcome. I'm Imi, I'm a knitter based in the north of England and this is my first YouTube video. Today I thought we'd start off with a project vlog because I've been digging into my Pinterest boards recently and I've noticed a recurring theme of this type of striped sweater, particularly these two from Toast, which I'm seeing again and again popping up on Pinterest and Instagram. And I looked into both of these sweaters and noticed that they're both around £200. That was my cat George. I've got two cats and they're probably going to pop up in this video because I'm doing something different and talking to myself, and I think they're both quite curious, so excuse any noise you can hear. Where was I? Right, so Toast sweaters, they're both £200, around about, and since I'm a knitter, I thought, why would I spend £200 on a sweater that I could just make myself? So here we are. Before we get started, I wanted to kind of get together a bit of a plan on what I'm going to make. I'm not going to use a pattern, I'm actually going to self-draft this project because even though I like specific sweaters that I've been seeing over and over again, I haven't found one that is exactly right. So I wanted to sort of pick and choose the elements of each of these inspirations that I wanted to use in my sweater and then kind of make a Frankenstein version of all of those things. So what I do want is definitely stripes. I like the oversized sort of A-line shape of this particular Toast sweater. I've noticed as well that the two Toast sweaters are, one is alpaca and wool, I think, and the other is a linen cotton blend. And then the other jumpers that I've seen on Pinterest seem to vary. So personally, I want something that I can wear kind of all year round. In England it's pretty cold in the summer, so I don't think a jumper would be kind of outside of the realm of possibilities. That said, I don't really want something super woolly and warm, so I'm going to go with a cotton. The cotton yarn that I would like to use is my favourite cotton yarn, which if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen me talk about this a ton, but it's the Crea Deluxe Organic Cotton, and it's 100% cotton. So I definitely want to use that. I also, sorry, I keep glancing down here because that's where my notes are. So I'm going to be taking notes as I go and hopefully kind of create a bit of a pattern for myself over the course of this project. But for right now, I've noted down that I want a cotton yarn, all over stripes, an oversized A-line fit, and for the colour combo, I'm leaning towards sort of like a black and beige combo. I already have a sort of nautical stripe sweater. It's in like a cream and navy, so I don't need another one of those. But I've also been playing around with the idea of maybe like a pop of red. Yeah, so I'll have a look and see what I'm sort of thinking, and what's in stock really is probably going to dictate this more than anything. And yeah, I think that's probably enough to be going off of. I also wanted to mention before we get started that the neckline of all of my inspiration pictures are kind of different. So some of them have sort of a mock neck, others just a simple round neck. What I want for this project is definitely more of a mock neck. I've seen some other patterns and Pinterest pictures of a sort of mock neck that is, it's got some ribbing on it, but then it's also got a bit of a rolled hem at the top, and that carries through to cuffs and the bottom hemline, and that's the kind of vibe I'm going for. I also don't love the idea of continuing the stripe pattern all the way up the neck. I'd rather have a bit of a contrast cuff, neck and hem, if that makes sense. So yeah, those are the things that I am going to try and create with this project, and I think that's enough to go off of for now. Stay tuned if you want to see what I come up with. I got a bit carried away since I filmed those last couple of clips, and I've actually knit the entire neck and a bit of the yoke section of the sweater. So this is where we are at, and I wanted to quickly update you before I got even more carried away, and I don't even know where I'd be at that point. So what I've done so far is I've changed the neckline to a mock neck in the INSPO toast sweater. It's more of just kind of a high neck, but not like a turtleneck or anything. And I wanted something kind of more of a mock neck. So I added this rolled hem at the edge, and then contrasted that with a half twisted rib stitch to give it this kind of juxtaposition, which I quite like. It reminds me of a petite knit pattern that she came out with maybe a couple of months ago. If I can remember the name, I'll put it somewhere here, and then you can check it out if you're interested. But it sort of gives a similar vibe to that sweater, which I really liked. And then I think I'm going to carry out that same kind of rolled hem, half twisted rib combo on the sleeves and the bottom ribbing, so it's kind of cohesive looking that way. And then I've gone ahead and added in the black yarn and done 8 stripes. So I think I'll update you next when I'm about to split for sleeves, but I did want to mention that the stripes are also different from the INSPO sweater in that they are wider. I mean, it was just because I'm too lazy to swap yarns more regularly than this. So in the inspiration, I think they're probably about 2 rows wide, and this one I've done 4 rows wide. So not that big of a difference, but I mean, it still gives the same effect. And I'm quite happy with the more bold stripe. I think it is a nicer contrast. So that's where I'm at, and I will see you when I'm about to split for sleeves. Brand new day. I've made some progress on the striped jumper, so this is where we're at. Pretty good, I think. I've been kind of pottering about today and not really working on this, so I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea. I'm cooking some soup at the moment, and I'm gonna spend an hour or so knitting on this. It's a rare sunny day in October, which is nice because yesterday was super stormy. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just make myself a nice tea, enjoy the afternoon sun, and sit here and knit for a while. So I'm nearly done with the body. I have one more stripe to do in the black, and then I can start the ribbing. And then obviously both sleeves still need to be done. But yeah, this is where we're at. It's Sunday, so we've had a pretty chill morning, and just gonna spend some time sitting and working on this so I can get to the bottom ribbing. I don't know if I'll be able to cast off the bottom today, but we'll see how far we can get. It's been a week since I last updated you, and I cast off the bottom edge of the jumper. I actually cast this off like maybe even last weekend, but I haven't worked on it since because I wanted to film picking up the sleeves. Once I've done that, then I'll be like pretty much done. I spent some time during the week converting my pattern notes, which are just on my phone, to a written pattern on my computer, and so far obviously it's only the instructions for the size that I've made, which once I block this one, I'll measure for gauge, and then I'll be able to determine what size this actually is in the pattern, because I feel like I usually wear a size small, extra small in clothes, and I feel like making something this oversized an extra small seems wrong. So this might end up being like a medium in the pattern, and I'll just add a note to say that if you want it to fit as it fits in the pictures, then size up, because I feel like not everyone likes as much positive ease in a garment as I do. So yeah, I also am conscious of the fact that I am quite short, so the length of the jumpers that I tend to knit are quite cropped. This one hits upper thigh, I think, on me, but I'm 5'3", so yeah, I guess that's another thing to consider, is whether or not I need to make a note about the length, because as it stands currently, the way I've noted the length in the pattern is by the number of stripes you do from where you pick up stitches under the arm, but maybe that's not the best way to indicate how long you want to make this jumper. So I might just add a note in the pattern saying knit to as long as you prefer and try on as you go, but yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's where we're at right now, and I'm in a little bit of a new place today. I'm in my room, and I'm actually, I think for the first time in this video, wearing something that I knit myself. So I'll just show you quickly. This is the cardie. Yeah, it's just garter stitch through the sleeves. Got I-cord edging down the collar, and it's straight knit, and it's got some kind of piping seams as well. This is the Girlfriend cardigan by Anchor Strict. I think that's right. Yeah, it's Girlfriend's cardigan by Cardigan. What am I saying? Girlfriend's cardigan by Anchor Strict. I think that's how you say it. If I've said it wrong, I'm sorry, but I'll try and show you without showing the pattern. This is the pattern, and I really love the final result. I changed some things, like there's a stocking stitch, no, a ribbed edge and sleeve edge that I omitted. Also, I think it tells you to knit an I-cord and then pick up stitches for the neckline, and I just did an I-cord cast on. But other than that, and maybe there's some sleeve decreases that I omitted, maybe. When I made this, I just wasn't in the mood for doing anything complicated, and I wanted the finished object more than I wanted to be knitting on it. So yeah, I was a bit lazy with my approach, but I think it turned out really well, and I would definitely make the pattern again. Yeah, so that's everything I have to update you on, and next I will show me picking up the sleeves. it's been over a month since I started this project, which is crazy, but we're finally finished and this is the finished product. I will put in some cutaways so you can see the final item better, but I'm really happy with it. I love how soft it is in the cotton. I love the fit. I managed to achieve that kind of A-line drape by increasing here under the armpit, which kind of gives it this, yeah, little flare, which I love. I made this version and I actually made another version, both in the size medium. So this cotton version ended up being for my sister, who is sensitive to wool, and the second version I made contains a stripe with wool and mohair, so obviously she didn't want that one. Let me actually just grab that version so I can show you. Okay, so here is the second version. You can see, if I get close, that the brown stripe has kind of a different texture to the beige one. The beige is the Crea Deluxe organic cotton, same as the version I'm wearing, and the brown is a Holst Garn super soft wool that I had in my stash, held together with a strand of the Isaga soft silk mohair. I think I'm saying that right. And that I also had in my stash. Both of those yarns have been in my stash for 2 years. So I'm happy that I've used them in something. I've got my notes here, so I'm just checking that I've mentioned everything to do with both of these final jumpers, which is so exciting. They both have a half twisted rib cuff and this little rolled detail. So it's on the cuffs, the neckline, as you can see, and the hem, which I think looks exactly how I wanted it to look. I didn't want, as I said all the way in the beginning of the video, a stripe carried through the necklines and the cuffs. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I know throughout this video I've spoken about the notes I was taking alongside doing this project, and then the fact that I turned that into a pattern. So I'm really happy to share that I turned those notes and that pattern draft into a proper pattern, sent it off to a tech editor. That has now come back and I've actually just put out a test call. So this is officially the Neve sweater, the Neve striped sweater I'm calling it, because on Ravelry there's already a Neve sweater, so I wanted to kind of differentiate and make it more searchable. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, that test will be underway. If everything goes to plan, I'm hoping to launch the Neve striped sweater in mid-February. So keep an eye if you're interested. So all told, I used about 8 balls of the Crea Deluxe organic cotton to make this version of the jumper, 4 of the black and 4 of the beige. I had no leftover beige, but I did have some black left over, and that worked out to be about £40 worth of that cotton yarn, so not bad. But obviously we've got to consider the amount of time I spent working on this, which I said was over a month. Obviously I wasn't working on it every day for hours at a time, so I'm not sure the exact breakdown of how many hours this took to knit, but as I mentioned in the beginning, I couldn't find a jumper available sort of on the high street that included every element that I was looking for. So that's the main reason that I started this project. I did manage to take every element of the inspiration pictures that I loved and combine it together into my perfect garment. So yeah, this is something I can finally wear, and obviously I've got a matching one with my sister, which is really nice. And I do find that they're both really warm enough to wear in the winter. I would personally layer something like a t-shirt or a thermal under this version if it was really cold outside. Same with this version, because they aren't very close to the body, so a lot of kind of air can circulate, and I just tend to run cold. My sister Izzy probably wouldn't layer this with anything because she tends to run warm, so that's just something to note in case you wanted to make your own version of this jumper. If you've made it to the end of this video, I just wanted to say thank you. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is my first official YouTube video, so it's really new for me, and I would definitely appreciate any feedback. I am planning already some other videos that I want to make. Obviously, I'm happy to take suggestions for that as well. If you like the sweater that I made, then the pattern should be coming out in mid-February, so you can make your own. If you want more regular updates on where I am at with the test knitting stage and when the official launch date of the pattern will be, then you can find that info on my Instagram and probably my TikTok, all of which I'll link below, along with links to the toast jumpers that I mentioned and the yarn that I used in this video. I think that's it. So thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon. Bye.